are trying to get to the door and how we speak of the people that we want to join us here.
Good observation. Thank you. Any other questions, comments?
Going off of what Jen said, when we first started looking at visitors, I don't remember if it was at a VCI meeting or if it was within a sermon, but Dean had brought up the fact that instead of saying visitor, guest. Because a visitor is somebody that just like pops by and we're not ready for. Whereas a guest, we've taken the time and energy to prepare, and we're ready for them for open arms. If you're having a dinner party or whatnot, you've gone through, you've done the hard work ahead of time, and you're welcoming your guest. Instead of the visitor of, oh, somebody popped by and you're like trying to clean all of a sudden and like shove stuff on their bed, like as they're knocking at the door and going, my house isn't ready. So preparing for our guests to come instead of necessarily visitors. See, Dean, I pay attention when you talk.
Any other questions, comments?
I think Jane Ellen made a good point last time. She said we all should be more and welcoming people into the church.
Barry, did you have something?
Well, I just started to be a greeter, and we've had 2 services for a long time, and I only know half the church. So everybody that went, that when we come together, I don't know everybody, which I should, because I've been here since eons. Bruce was one earlier than me, and I haven't been a member or anything like that, but a lot of people. I just love it when people come to church and see that I don't know their names. And getting older, it takes a longer railroad to get there to that name. and sometimes you wish that you're not sure of the person coming in. You think they're a new guest, but they've been here for years because we've had 2 services for a long time. And I think the combination of the services is going to help us to get to know each other much better, and therefore we can be more inviting to outsiders than we ever were, because we will recognize them when they come through the door. And sometimes you wish you just had a piece of paper. If you can't leave, you can go and show them around. Just give them a piece of paper where we're going to lay out our church facilities. I don't know if that's a cold way of doing it, but at least they'll know where they're coming back. And
Sometimes as a greeter, just taking the person to where they want to go is a very more than friendly.
You go to a major department store, and the ones that are really on the ball, you say to a clerk, hey, I can't find the toilet paper. They'll grab you by the hand and take you right to it. Here it is.
Got it.
And this is something that we have to develop in our hearts, in our way of thinking, that when we can spot somebody that comes in new, we have to get to know them.
Dean's been here a whole lot less time than I've been a member of this church, and he probably knows everybody, and I'm lucky if I know the names of maybe 20% of the people that go here. Even though many people come up to me and very kindly say good morning to me by name, I have to search sometimes who that person is. And there's one fellow that says hi to me every Sunday, and he waits, and he waits, and he waits until I say his name. And if I don't mess it up, it's a rare Sunday, or I'll walk away. I don't remember his name. And it's not on purpose, believe me. It's just one of those things where, so one of the things through VCI, I'm going, yes, we're a friendly church, but do we really care enough to be a little more outward by, okay, it's up to me to remember that guy's name. I mean, so.
Cat Warren, my friend has quite a large church in Kalamazoo, and I really liked what they had. It made us feel very welcome. They had the greeters at the door like we do, but they had random people all over in the narthex just mingling and greeting people.
Thank you. Good suggestion.
Barbara Can, and I visited my girlfriend's Methodist church earlier this week when we went out to lunch. And one neat thing that they did in their church is they had a wall dedicated to the people of the church. So it was kind of like our directory, but it was people's pictures just taken, and whether it's maybe something they brought in from home, and then it was wrapped on colorful construction paper, and their name, Bob and Mary Jones,
We did
was
that
on
once.
there. And I just thought that would be a really nice downtime thing, that I would find myself like Carrie in that position where I'm so afraid of greeting someone and treating them like a guest when in effect they've been here at the other service for such a long period of time. I thought that was pretty neat.
Thank you. You have something, Nancy? Good? No?
Don't be sorry.
No?
This is a place where you can put your input.
I'm sorry, I don't see anything wrong with treating people like guests, even if they've been here. It's better than ignoring them. And sometimes we don't know names, and sometimes I haven't seen you if you go to a different service. And when I have met people like that, I'll say, I'm sorry, I don't know if we've met before, you know, because, or I'm sorry, you know, your name just hasn't stuck in here. I have too much stuff in my head, things fall out, and I'm afraid one of your name is one of those things. Because we're all human, and we all mess up, and I don't think there's anything wrong with admitting
that. Think back to the last family gathering you were at, and there were people much younger than yourself there, and they're on their phones texting and going back and forth, and you wish they paid attention to you. I wonder sometimes if people that visit here, or even people that are members here, feel like they're in a room where someone's texting and they're trying to break in. So I kind of look at it that, and I've spoken to many older people that say, you know, they want to leave a basket out on the porch, and their grandchildren have to leave their phones out on that basket when they have family get-togethers. Are members here, as well as future guests, feeling the same way? You know, so we have to be aware of the people around us and treat them with the same humanity that we would expect for ourselves. Any other questions or comments? We have 3 minutes left. That was good. All right, with your blessing, can I continue? We'll go on to our next concern.
Okay, hang on a second.
All right, we'll wait.
I promise it won't ruin the organ. Nobody gets it.
All right, concern number 4, lack of implementation of the discipling process. Leaders at Wesley Park United Methodist have identified a clear process for intentional faith development. However, it has not been implemented. It is unclear as to how and why a person would move through this process. On the self-study materials and focus group conversations, when asked what changes would you like most to see, a path to discipleship and small group development was high on that list. An interviewee commented that more programs are needed for new people. An emphasis on intentional faith development is a major part to becoming a fruitful congregation. Without faith development, people tend to lack passion and remain in the shallow waters instead of diving deeply, resulting into minimal or no growth in Jesus Christ.
Intentional faith development. It's on page 6 of 7. A clear fully devoted followers of Jesus Christ. A, the pastor, along with the director of faith formation and youth director, will identify 2 to 3 additional people to make up a faith development task force on or before May 15, 2018. This team will, 1, read and discuss together Phil Maynard's book, Membership to Discipleship. This will be completed by August the 1st, 2018. 2, work together to evaluate, activate, and implement the plan titled Wesley Park Discipleship Process, dated November 14, 2016, to ensure that it will do the following. 1, connect and grow individuals in their personal relationship with God through Jesus Christ. 2, position individuals for transformation through Bible study and the practice of Christian spiritual disciplines. Disciplines. 3, facilitate connection with other believers for support and accountability. 4, move persons to be in service with others for the purpose of the mission. This will be completed by August 1st, 2018 and implemented at all ministry levels for children, youth, and adults, beginning September 9, 2018. The team will engage in an ongoing process to evaluate, update, and implement the path annually. B, the pastor will preach a sermon series using the resource A Disciple's Path by James Harnish, beginning no later than September 9, 2018. The faith formation team will coordinate an all-church study of the book to be held simultaneously.
All right, again, we'll open for comments and questions, please. Bill?
Wait, Bill, we're doing it on Periscope though, so it would be helpful if somebody's watching it on YouTube.
Okay.
Thank you. For those that can't be here today.
I don't know what there is that makes a church exciting and vibrant. I remember years ago, we would start a discipleship class. We'd have 75 or 80 people in the class and fill fellowship hall. Max Gibber used to do first base, second base, third base, home plate. And the place would be packed and everybody would go through it. And it was excitement about becoming part of it. And whatever we do, I hope we can reinstill that excitement about becoming part of this team, this wonderful group of people, and want to become better disciples and want to know more about our faith and walk the path with the people in the church.
Thank you, Bill. Questions, comments?
Still a beautiful day, I hope.
We're like comedians flopping up here.
So I shared this on Wednesday when we had our last town hall meeting, that this is probably, like, this and the worship prescriptions are what I'm most excited for, because it's giving it that clear path to discipleship, especially as an adult. Like Sunday mornings, I'm in here and doing stuff with the youth. So as far as like continuing to grow my faith, I would love to have a class that I can go to and not having to tell the 7th graders to stop talking and stop touching each other. And to be able to be a participant instead of having to lead. And this really excites me. I wish I was old enough to do the first base, second base, home base, and then Disciple Bible, that was one of the classes too. Looking, what kind of that? Okay, so, and that was what, Wednesday nights, right? So, I mean, to have more people have have an opportunity to plug in, this is cool. Like, I'm super stoked for that. And especially with our college kids, to kind of make that transition from high school to college, to be able to connect with adults and continue to grow in their faith as they grow. So that's kind of my 2 cents.
If we have ideas for this, can we submit ideas without being a part of the committee if we want to do something else?
Why not?
My question was, if we have ideas for this particular thing, can we submit the ideas without actually being on that committee? Because maybe I want to be on a different committee.
I think once the committees are formed, I don't think anyone would turn down someone's suggestion or ideas. By all means, don't be creative. Let people know that you're interested and concerned. And who knows, you may even want to participate. And if not, you've given something really strong as a suggestion.
Olive Hartley, will it be published anywhere or put up on a board or notify who's on these different committees so we can submit to that group?
Once the committees are formed, I'm sure the announcements will go out to let everyone know who is responsible for what section or portion or committee. But we'll write that down as a question and make sure we address it. Thank you, Paul. Other questions, comments? Minutes. Yes, sir.
Another thing we could do as far as for policy.
Hello. Another thing we could do as far as with coming up with a policy about listing who's on what team and stuff. Yes, there's a portion of the website that lists staff, and I was always thinking that we should have either the committee, either people on the committee in there as well. So that could be also part of the website updates. I help the website, so I shouldn't know more. But have more of that information on the website as well, and contact, the chairperson, some of the people on those committees / teams and such.
Great idea. Thank you.
I think one of the things that
Will you state your name, please?
Jane Ellen Johnson.
Thank you.
I think one of the things that we forget as adults and having gone through Sunday school is that that's where we got it all. And we are very eager and interested in making sure our children have their Christian education. But I just want to remind us that if we are disciples of Jesus Christ, just like the disciples that Jesus Christ chose, they spent time with him, years with him, as adults, learning what it meant to be a disciple of Jesus Christ. And then they went out. And so I think we have to remember that it is our calling as disciples, because of our baptism, to go out into the world, but also to have been educated on how to do that. So part of this process for me, and is exciting, is to help us become more educated in how we can do church and be true disciples of Jesus Christ.
Thank you.
Al Pittenger. And to further go along that same line, I think we witnessed that here in this church in terms of revitalizing as a church in instances like back in the fall of '03 where we did 40 Days of Purpose as a church. We had several, more than 100 people that participated in that. The same thing happened when we did the 5 principles of a successful church or something like that, right, Dean? Okay. Anyhow, when we did that one, again, we had several people involved in that. And just last fall when we stole my church. So these are all good instances of revitalization and church participation.
I look at 40 Days of Purpose. That's what drew Eric here, you guys. Like, I don't know if you know his story, but Eric came here for 40 Days of Purpose, and he made connections, and the rest is history after 15 years. So that's why those are important for connecting.
Right after that, we did discipleship.
It just goes to show that as we move forward, it's not throwing out, as they would say, the baby with the bathwater. It's taking a lot of good things, reincorporating them, and adding some new things. It's kind of neat, because not only do we get to strengthen the programs that work, but we get to add new things that we may, maybe strange to us as we go along. I mean, try to understand a 20 to 40-year-old today, but they have different ideas. But yet, at the end of the day, they want to become disciples of Christ. They want to be better citizens. They want to grow in their faith. So it's kind of a neat opportunity for us to be here at this time. Other comments or questions? Does anyone mind if we move on? Okay. Concern number 5. Where are we on? All right, number 5. Leadership development and staff alignment with vision. There's no intentional expectation or process to develop new leaders at all levels of the church. Paid and unpaid staff are a key component to helping fulfill goals and expectations of the congregation in alignment with the mission vision that is before us. There are no job description reviews to create goals, objectives, and accountability markers for the staff. The staff needs to develop a team atmosphere to work together to carry out the mission vision of the church. Too often, staff are not included in regular staff meetings to adjust to changing dynamics that arise and engage in open communication around those programs and each other. The staff is too often left on their own to function like silos unconnected to the whole. The church staff must function like a team to help with congregational mission vision. We support the staff parish team that has recently begun reviewing and evaluating job expectations toward the end of creating an alignment goals and accountability markers for the staff.
Page 6.
Leadership development and staff alignment with vision. Developing new leaders is imperative to effective ministry growth. The pastor, in consultation with the coach, shall name a task force of 3 to 5 people by March 30th, 2017. This task force, in consultation with the coach, will create a lay leadership development team to replace nominations. This team will study and develop a plan for identifying, recruiting, training, supporting, and deploying new leaders according to their giftedness by fall 2017. This plan will be fully implemented by January 1st, 2018. B, the pastor will begin to meet one-on-one with staff at least one time per month to encourage, set goals, and assess progress toward goals. This will help them become effective ministers in their area of service. These meetings will begin no later than April 1st, 2017. C, the pastor shall facilitate monthly staff meetings for all paid staff and key leaders beginning no later than April 1st, 2017 for spiritual development, team building, communication, training, and working toward goal setting and a shared understanding of the congregation's mission and strategy. D, the pastor and staff will read together and study The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team by Patrick Wyoming, beginning no later than March 2018. E, the coach or his designee will lead a workshop for the pastor, staff, and key leaders to assist them in completing a disc inventory and spiritual gift inventory by January 15, 2019. F, the Staff Parish Relations Committee, in conjunction with the pastor, will continue to work with the pastor to develop and implement an annual performance evaluation process. The staff will be advised of this process so that they know what to anticipate, both in terms of content and timing. The process will be implemented by September 15, 2017.
Again, we'll open it up to questions and comments.
The staff has started meeting, doing staff meetings as well. That's something that came up at the last town hall, just a heads up.
The staff evaluations basically sit down and talk about what the responsibilities are of the staff member, and then doing periodic reviews to see, again, the gap process, what's our goal versus what's really going on. Again, questions, comments? I know all that's swimming around up there somewhere, ready to come up. Go ahead, Nancy, that's quite all right.
Can't let one go without some kind of comment, right? It says in here that there's going to be a workshop with pastor, staff, and key leaders to do the disc inventory and spiritual gift inventory by January 2019, which seems a little far off.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, will all of us be doing a spiritual gift assessment so that we know what we're best geared towards doing, or if people aren't sure if they're actually valuable or needed in some way, that maybe that could be a thing that, if we all do it, and then what gifts come up and say, well, we have this and this and this and this church that need those gifts. Or, do you get what I'm saying?
And I think it was actually a year ago this weekend that we did a spiritual gifts inventory. Tabby, do we still have those results? I think they're on the computer somewhere. Okay, so we could possibly bring those back out and revisit, or even do it again, because God leads us in different ways on there. And then someone Wednesday had asked about all of us doing the disc inventory as well. So for those of you that don't know what a disc inventory is, it talks about like styles of working together. So a lot of that is concentrating on teamwork. So D stands for dominance. I don't remember what the other ones are. I'm sorry, guys. But it's in your handouts on there. And so that's really helping those teams working together. But I think it definitely would be beneficial for all of us if we want to take it, because then if you and I were working on a committee together, I know if I say this, then it's going to put your reaction to X, Y, Z. So then we're kind of being more conscious on that. Or vice versa. Well, yes, but you helped to raise me, so.
Yeah, under that program, basically, some people are drivers. They want to get to the point. They don't want any substantive. They just want, okay, I'm at point A. I want to go to point B. What's the address? Some people want you to describe how to get from point A to point B. Some people are all about the warm and fuzzy, and they add 100 paragraphs to how to get from point A to point B. Some are analytical about it, so. But it'd be good to know the person you're speaking to. They're looking to. And you're just going on and on and on, and they're looking at you like, aren't you done? Chuck's a driver. He took point A. I'm expressive analytical. put us in a room together. He's got the gun out every time. But it's important to understand that, so when you communicate with people, and so in committees, that's a great exercise. But good comments, Nancy. Thank you.
Janice Starnes. I have the timetable here. I didn't have it available when I was heading out, so if anyone wants a timetable when all of these are to be implemented, I have them here.
Thank you. Other questions, comments? Other questions or comments? Other questions or comments?
I've appreciated everybody's input, by the way, and I think that's coming from all of us.
I know there was some concern in the, yeah, I'm out picture still. There was some concern about SPRC and, meeting with the staff and, going through their job duties and that. I can express that we have all been just recently met with after we rewrote any changes or additions to our duties, and also after doing self-evaluation forms, which, as you all know, they're not the most fun thing in the world to complete, but we just finished that, so that's just for your information.
Thank you for bringing us up today, Al. Appreciate it.
Am I understanding clearly that pretty much all the existing groups will be relooked at, reformed, but the staff parish will stay as it is? And if so, are there any other groups already built within the church that will stay untouched and not affected by the changes?
We'll check that out for you. I don't know at this point which way to answer on that. That may be the case. That will stay, or some things will change. So we'll check it out.
What committees are required by the book for the UMC Church?
Say that. Ask again, please.
What committees are required by the book?
What committees are
What
required?
committees are required for every congregation to have from the Book of Disciplines? Anyone know?
4 committees?
Yeah.
What committees?
Trustees, finance,
Staff, parish, and council.
or Periscope. Trustees, finance, council, and SPRC.
Staff, parish. Good question. Thank you. Other questions, comments? Quick note of appreciation to Janice. She's been going around the last couple of meetings and getting her exercise. Thank you.
I'll just make one more comment because there might be people that aren't aware of this. All those meetings of those committees are open to anybody to come. You can't say anything or participate unless you ask to be on the agenda. And you cannot, the only committee you cannot attend is the Staff Parish Relations Committee. Those are closed meetings. But council, finance, trustees, you're welcome to come. Trustees usually meet the first Monday of every month. Finance the second Monday, council the third Monday.
I have a feeling that many of you are very nervous about this and a little scared, and I am too, because there's a lot riding That's, in my opinion. And it is so hard to change, especially the older we get, the more we like things to stay the same. But at the same time, I'm kind of excited about this, because it will give everybody a chance to really be a part of something that hopefully is going to last for many years to come. So I just encourage you to try to be excited while you're scared.
Thank you. Nicely said. Any additional comments or more questions? With your blessing, we'll continue on. You have just attended the third of 3 town hall meetings. Next week, Sunday, there will be a vote on these prescriptions. The prescriptions must be voted as a total collection. They cannot be voted on independently. So they all have to be voted in for the prescription, or they all have to be voted as something the church does not want to do. The parking lot questions we have today, they'll be ready by communication via
Probably email.
email.
Yeah,
Okay.
because we don't have anything from now until Sunday as
To
far as
give to you in
passing
advance.
stuff out.
At conference, as you may have heard, there will be no discussion. Once the vote begins, there will be no dialogue or any questions, or there will not be a Q&A session. It will be a vote. It's an up and down. It's an up or down vote. Okay. We ask that you leave here today with a prayerful heart, an open mind, and that you take all of what you've heard into fair consideration. Thank you all for being here. Al?
Regarding the vote next week, I had somebody approach me and ask this question, which I think is a good one. Of course, at a church conference, the only way you can vote is if you're a member of the church and you're here. How are they going to know, passing out these ballots, who can legally vote and who can't, who are the members are?
We'll have Pastor Dean answer that one.
I'm not supposed to participate in these, so I've been listening and praying, but I thought this might be helpful if I just said just a word or two. We will be taking your fingerprints and running them through the FBI system, and it is we'll trust that the people that vote know that they are members. We do have a list, and we can check that if we needed to. If you had a question whether or not you are an active member, we have an audited list, so we'll make sure that we'll help you with that. But we'll trust you. But I do want to say that one of the things that I've decided, thanks to you, because of your great heart at Wesley Park, is that we're going to allow everyone's input. Now, only the people present who are members will be counted. That's our official vote. But we will also send ballots to people who are not members, who are in Florida, who are shut-ins, who are not able to be here, because we want everyone to feel participating and connected and part of what we're trying to do together. Those won't be officially part of the vote, but they are very important for all of us to be to have a say, and for all of us to decide if we're going to go forward together. So I'm thankful for Wesley Park. This was one of the biggest issues that you had with this vote. You want everyone included. You want people to have their voice. You don't want to turn anyone away. And I love you for that. You're a great church. So we want to find a way where everyone's vote can be a part of it, but actually the official vote that will be counted will be members who are present.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you all for your participation. Please be careful on your way home, and thank you again for coming today.